Thanks so much for joining us here at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. JCPS is off to a stronger start over last year, but that's a low bar to clear. While the district felt confident about that start to school, parents we spoke to are just now starting to believe it. Our Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Emma Gefter tracked several bus stops today around Louisville. Ian, how did it go?
Brooke, the buses running around Sunrise we saw today ran on time, with the later routes experiencing about a 10-minute delay. We also learned throughout the day that cuts to magnet schools could also be causing longer car rider lines during drop-off.
Oh, thank you! Give her the card.
It's a sweet start to school, even if the bus was 11 minutes late. Mindy Amos sent off her first grader in Douglas Hills with M&Ms and a note to their driver.
We do that every year. We like to give the bus driver a treat because I feel like the bus drivers have one of the hardest jobs in JCPS.
So she understands that the bus ran a little late, especially on the first day of school. Somehow it showed up earlier during the disastrous day one in 2023.
We were on time last year and it's a little late this year, but you know, it's not excessively late.
At an earlier pickup in the Upper Highlands, Alyssa Jones sent off her sixth grader 10 minutes late. That's a first day victory.
There's only so much you can do with the resources they've been allotted. So I really wasn't believing anything until we were here and they were on the bus and it was still Thursday.
She knows this improvement over last year came with a cost to some magnet students.
To the kids who worked hard and perhaps can earn spots in places and then can't get there because they don't have transportation.
While the district is looking to restore some of those cut magnet routes with former TARC drivers, the Fairdale bus stop we saw ran 2 buses on time around 6:30 a.m. Former bus driver Jamie Owen gave props to her ex-coworkers for a smooth pickup and to the district for their bus overhaul.
Everybody's in their compound areas instead of going all over the city, so it was on time, and I'm actually pretty confident about it. So it's going to be a good year.
While the buses appear to be running smoother than last year, Amos said her husband did have issues dropping off their daughter at Male High School.
And the kids were jumping out of the cars on Preston Highway to get to the school to try to get there on time. So my daughter was late. I think she was about 15 to 20 minutes late to school because he did stay in the car rider line and she stayed in the car.
Male was one of the schools whose transportation was cut in the new busing plan.
Now, while we didn't see the lines outside Male High School for ourselves this morning, we have received complaints about long lines at other magnet schools that lost bus transportation. I'm live in studio, Ian Hardwitt.
Ian, thank you. And here is one example, the car rider situation just a few hours ago. Cars as far as the eye could see outside Audubon Elementary well after school started this morning. Car rider lines were expected to be heavier than usual this year, with buses no longer going to most magnet and traditional schools. And other JCPS families we spoke with are not just juggling the transportation, but also the new start times. Kathy French is a JCPS parent of 3 elementary students and trying to manage carpools to 2 different schools with different start times.
One starts at 7:30, 2 start at 8:40. So I'm going to drop the earliest one off as soon as I can and then rush to get a friend's child. I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll work out.
Well, this year, JCPS has 3 staggered start times compared to last year's 9 to give bus drivers more time between those routes. School starts are 7:30, 8:40, and 9:40. More than 80 school start times were affected by that change. And we asked parents and guardians on Facebook to share their morning experience. And this is what many of you had to say. Berkeley said first school was great, second chaos. Morning commute took 2 hours in total. It's pickup that I'm terrified for. Lariana wrote, we left for the drop-off line at 9:13. School starts at 9:40, and I only was able to drop off at 10:01. Chuck replied, not arguing the first couple days may be a little stressful, but it will pass. Well, JCPS and several parents involved in a lawsuit over this transportation plan have agreed to a 2-month pause in the case. A joint motion filed by attorneys asks for a 60-day stay in these proceedings to allow time to implement the district's new busing plan. Families suing the district argue cutting transportation to most magnet and traditional schools is discriminatory. During an August 2nd federal hearing, There was testimony that certain schools, specifically Male, Manual, and Whitney Young Elementary, may have routes restored if there's enough drivers. In a statement, JCPS said the district agreed to the stay but made no commitment whatsoever about student assignment or guaranteeing any student a resumption of transportation, adding this lawsuit is unnecessary. The judge in the case still has to sign off on that motion. We have all your JCPS back to school guides right now online on the WHAS11.com homepage. All right, a pretty cool bus stop forecast for the morning hours.
It felt really nice.
It felt really nice,
Yeah.
Christina. And then expecting, anywhere from 2:30 on this afternoon when those first buses get off, with the drop off to feel pretty good too.
It'll be a little bit on the warm side, but pretty typical what you would expect basically for this time of the year. We have just a little bit of humidity out there, making it feel just a few degrees warmer than what you're actually seeing here on the screen, where we're just now sitting at 82 degrees right now around Louisville. So it could certainly be worse. We're holding on to some lower 80s from Bowman Field, E-Town, and in Bardstown. But when we factor in that humidity, it is feeling more like the upper 80s around Bardstown right now. Your feel like temperature at 87, and it feels like the mid 80s here in Louisville, but we will continue to gain a couple of degrees as we head into the next couple of hours. Eventually, I do think we'll be able to top out at about 90 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Pretty much what you see is what you get, and we're staying dry from start to finish. Out the door tomorrow morning, we'll be waking up mild as well in those lower 70s, but that's after most of us are going to be reaching for those upper 80s across southern Indiana, maybe a few 90s sprinkled in over to the southeast of Louisville around Springfield, Lebanon, and close to Campbellsville. But out the door tomorrow morning as you're sending the kiddos off to the bus stop, again, not bad, going to be nice and bright of a start. And then thankfully tomorrow afternoon, we're not getting quite as hot, and that's just going to be day one of a much cooler and pleasant pattern for us. I'm excited to tell you about it here in just a bit, Brooke.
Christina, thank you. Today, Metro Police will release body camera video from a fatal police shooting in Valley Station last month. It happened on July 27th when police responded to a 911 call on Eaglewood Drive off Dixie Highway. Officers say they found an agitated man inside of a home with several family members who quickly exited the house while police attempted to calm the man down. But police say he picked up a knife and charged at officers who then fired their guns. LMPD plans to release that body camera video today at 4 o'clock. We have an update in the case against former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll. A judge denied a petition by his nieces and nephews fighting for the money spent from their father's estate. Jamie's brother, William Leon Knoll, died in December of 2018, and Jamie was named representative of the state. Leon Knoll's heirs filed a petition claiming Knoll pocketed more than $50,000 and asked a judge to reopen that estate. And in court, the judge admitted those allegations were disturbing, but too much time had passed to legally reopen the case. Part of Louisville's upcoming Ironman triathlon could be canceled due to an algal bloom in the Ohio River. That's when there's a lot of growth of toxic algae in bodies of water. If exposed, it could cause skin irritation, rashes, and digestive issues if swallowed. Blooms typically happen during summer months when it's humid and there hasn't been enough river flow. One bloom popped up in 2019, which canceled the swimming portion of Louisville's Ironman. A public health advisory was issued earlier this month after Kentucky departments took samples of the Ohio. Triathlon officials told us they tested the water again yesterday and will determine next week if conditions are safe enough to swim. The Ironman is scheduled for Sunday, August 18th. A longtime Louisville pilot remains missing in the Bahamas. Chris Moore took off from Florida Sunday, flying solo on a path his wife says he's taken many times. His small plane was reported missing after taking off from Sebastian Airport on the east coast of Florida. His wife, Stacy Love, said they believe he was last heard from about 5 miles away from the airport in Marsh Harbor, Bahamas. The Coast Guard and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force stopped searching for Moore's plane Tuesday, so Love, who is still in the Bahamas, hired a private rescue helicopter. Moore has been a pilot for 9 years and lives near Glenview off River Road. Still ahead, a foiled terror plot at an upcoming Taylor Swift concert in Vienna. Police detailing the teenagers behind it and what they'd plan to do. And as we head to break, a nice smile here. We want to say happy back to school to Caroline and Eleanor. They're in 4th and 1st grades over at Silver Creek Schools. Congrats to them. You can send us your back to school photos to the number there on your screen. Teachers are welcome too. Just be sure to include your name and grade or school. We'll see you in a minute.